As you guys know, I used to collect PS1 demos for a few years during my childhood, and it helped me play more games while I waited to get the full versions of games that I enjoyed playing. Of course, they doubled as a nice time waster too. After all, a child is never satisfied with just a few games. As you know folks, I have a ton of PlayStation demo discs and I absolutely love them. I collected them from 2001 to 2003 and I've still got a ton more to talk about. But how many PS2 demos do you think I have right now? Well, you're wrong. This is how many. Yeah, I know, compared to my PS1 demo discs, it's nowhere near as substantial. But why is that? Why have I got so few PS2 demo discs compared to the PS1 demo disc that I have? Well, the thing was, back in that time, PS2 demo discs were out at the same time as PS1 demo discs, and unfortunately, I couldn't have both at the same time because both magazines that contained the demo discs would cost around about £5 or £6 maybe, and because of that, my dad would not let me have both at the same time. I was seen as too greedy if I tried to do such a thing, so I could only pick one or the other. And most of the time I'd only pick the PS1 demo disc because I knew at that time a lot of them had a lot more games on them than the PS2 demo discs. So a lot of the time, well, I skipped PS2 in favour of PS1. Anyway folks, regardless of all that, let's have a look at the final demo disc that I bought for the PlayStation 2 and see if it was worth it all those years ago. Before we start, here's a quick look at what the intro and menu screens looked like on these later PlayStation 2 demo discs. Yes, very nice indeed, and much more detailed compared to the PS1 counterparts. Anyway, let's get stuck in. One of the newer games on this demo disc is Asterix at the Olympic Games. I know very little about this game since I only played it once, briefly. Yeah, I wasn't too impressed back then, so let's see what I think of it in 2020. The game starts with one of the most bizarre cutscenes I've ever seen. There's a mixture of graphics with a cutout of a character.
Sorry, that's better. Right.
A realistic character popping in from out of nowhere through a portal. Okay, what the hell is going on? Okay, whatever, I don't care. Anyway, you have to open up this gate by extinguishing 3 lit torches, and sadly within an 8-minute time limit, that won't be happening.
Path through the Olympic village that leads there. But to access it, you have to open the huge gate.
You go around doing these mini-games trying to figure out what to do next, or in my case, be bored. One mini-game involves you punching enemies of different colour to the rhythm of a song, or another saw me push boxes in the right position.
Could you help me push?
You can switch between Asterix and his friend Obelix at any time, but other than a few instances, I just stuck with Asterix. The graphics do look pretty good. I like the cartoony look to the game, and both the level of detail and animations are very solid. A lot of effort clearly went into this department, and it's good to see good PS2 support in 2007. The voice acting is okay, nothing amazing, but gets the job done.
Great Caesar, ow! Sorry, that's better.
To be brutally honest, the game just bored me and I lost interest in it. The game does not seem that bad in all honesty, and I wouldn't get it unless it was 50p or something like that. Okay, I'm just being harsh, but seriously for me, this game's I can take it or leave it.
Could you help me push straight, Asterix? I'm afraid I'll break something.
My god, I remember when SingStar used to be the fad back in 2007. All those adverts about it being the next big thing in music video games. So glad that it went away, never to be heard from again. Still, I guess if you needed something to look foolish with, then this game was for you. Of course, you needed to buy a USB microphone for the PlayStation 2 to have the opportunity to look silly, play the game. Sadly, I don't have one, and thus I couldn't play this magnificent piece of cheese. Wait, did I say magnificent? Sorry, I meant horrific piece of cheese. So glad I never bought into the hype back then. I just never understood the appeal. If you love karaoke, get a karaoke set. Anyway, moving on.
One, two. I got my head shaved by a jumbo jet. It wasn't easy, but nothing is. No.
Oh Crash, oh how you was a treasured game mascot too. Well, what happened to you? If you told me in 2008 that Crash would return to greatness in 2017, I would have laughed. Anyway, Crash of the Titans is a platforming game where Crash can punch, do a powerful kick, and take control of various creatures throughout the level. The game makes a very familiar sound when you pick up items. If you think you know the sound, you do. It's the same sound when characters pick up coins in The Simpsons Hit and Run. Anyway, I can't seem to spin in this game. Why take out Crash's iconic move? In fact, why make this game? To be fair, the graphics are very good in this game. Detailed, crisp and full of vibrant colours, as well as great animation, Crash at least is pleasant to look at and a genuine surprise. I even had some fun killing these things with the powerful creatures I took control of. The game will end roughly 10 minutes into it, and to be honest, nothing about it makes me want to pick it up. Again, the game isn't awful, but to me, it's not Crash Bandicoot and it's not good enough to be worth a damn, as it's too safe, too easy and too bland. The LEGO Star Wars franchise has always been a fun take on the Star Wars license, and this game is pretty fun. You play a mission in Episode 4, A New Hope, one of the best Star Wars films easily. I love how the characters talk, or rather make noises at each other when they try to talk to one another. It's very cute, I guess. It's certainly full of personality, and I love it. Once you are allowed to control the game, you have a party full of characters and you can switch to another by pressing triangle next to them. With you, there's Obi-Wan Kenobi, Luke Skywalker, R2-D2 and C-3PO. All of them have unique uses and abilities. Obi-Wan is the best as he has a lightsaber, force powers and the ability to build blocks from new structures. Luke can auto-target enemies, dodge and roll, and can build structures. R2-D2 and C-3PO are supporting characters that can both unlock certain doors to allow you to proceed. These two cannot attack, so make sure the area is clear before trying to unlock anything. The game is very easy to pick up and play, thus anyone can play and enjoy the experience in no time. The controls are solid and everything falls into place. Again, this is a pick up and play type of game, so even children will get a blast out of it. It's actually a lot of fun trying to beat enemies, and even when you lose a life, you don't mind, as it's kind of funny to see everyone turn into tiny bits of Lego. The game looks good, sounds good, and the music is the John Williams composed soundtrack, so automatically it has one of the greatest soundtracks of all time, period. The only real problem is the demo is short and the camera isn't great. I couldn't see where my enemies were sometimes, and the camera refused to budge when I wanted to get a better look around my environment. Make no mistake though, LEGO Star Wars 2 is a fun game and I definitely recommend it to pretty much everyone, especially if you love LEGO. Oh, I love this game, and the demo does it justice too. In this unfinished 2005 demo, Black takes you through some of the first level, and it's pretty insane. Before that though, check out all this gun imagery. If you think this is porn for gun enthusiasts, then you would be right. Black is all about the guns and how they sound and feel to use. A huge emphasis is placed on them, and I guess the developers made them fun to use for sure. By the way, Criterion Games made this one. Yes, the people behind the Burnout games. That means expect explosions, great sound effects, and Michael Bay style visuals and gameplay, which works here because it's fun to blow things up. The gameplay is solid, if a bit slow here. I mean, look, if you want super fast first-person shooter gunplay, then play Call of Duty. But if you want a technical masterclass, then this is for you. The main draw of this game is the destructible environments. So much of the map can be blown up and destroyed, it's actually amazing. Now admittedly, the game slows down quite a bit, but considering what is happening on screen, this is not that bad to be frank. Plus the guns all feel amazing to use, and killing enemies in this game is pure satisfaction. Most PS2 games like this one don't even come close to being this awesome to play, in my mind. Overall, I think this demo gives a great first impression, and the full game is definitely worth playing. Right, we're halfway through the video folks, and it's been an interesting time so far. Some of the games were very good, some of them were pretty good, and some were weird and bizarre. But that's not the end of the story. We've got a few more games to cover, so hopefully these last few games will be worthwhile to those who may be looking into buying old PS2 demo discs. Now let's get going. Lumines Plus is the PlayStation 2 port of Lumines Puzzle Fusion on the PlayStation Portable. I never knew that, and guess what? This is the first time I've ever played this. Yes, somehow my younger self never even bothered to try this, but for a Tetris clone, it's actually pretty good. Now look, if you know Tetris, I won't explain what to do, that would just be insulting. However, the game looks pretty cool, and I like how the music gets affected as the tiles build up during your play session. It makes the experience more frenetic and interesting. It's not just another puzzle game, it's something that catches your attention. Look, I'm not very good at this game, and I do feel I'd lose interest after a longer play session, but for what it's worth, the game did better than I expected. Check it out if you find it cheap. TimeSplitters Future Perfect is a great game. The demo takes place in one of the missions in the full game, and well, it's a treat for any first-person shooter fan. First off, I love the presentation. The graphics have a cartoony look that works really well here. I love the animations, and the whole world feels full of life despite the emptiness on the first stage.
Hey Cortez, these friends of yours?
The stage in question has you trying to survive increasingly difficult enemies after crash landing on a planet. As Sergeant Cortez, you must lead the troops to victory without succumbing to defeat.
Miller!
You start with a weak laser pistol, but quickly get more effective weapons such as a machine gun that can overheat and a sniper rifle. Oh, and a turret gun. That part was fun. The controls are great and precise, plus killing enemies is pure satisfaction. Word of warning though, the controls are backwards, so make sure to adjust that in the options menu. Even the music is lively and adds to the situation at hand, just as a good game should.
Keep firing! Come on, Cortez! Report to the general! We can hold them here!
The demo is sadly short, so there's not much to say here, but the full game is worth it, and if you see it for a good price, pick it up.
Reinforcements are here! Hold your fire! Cortez, hold your fire! Great work, Cortez! You showed them not to mess with this.
Harry Potter and the Order of the Phoenix was a great movie, but the demo here is pretty boring and mediocre. First, you'll be shown how to do the Wingardium Leviosa using both analog sticks. Great in theory, but I found it tough to pull off on a reliable basis. I kept missing the sweet spot, which made me not want to do spells. Once I did pull it off, I was surprised that I could move the objects in any direction that I wanted, even while moving. Of course, in that moment, I felt this to be the perfect opportunity to dick about with a bench. Why not? It's the most fun you will have in this demo.
Hey.
Whoa, watch out! Harry's going nuts! Oh, I'm terribly sorry. Sorry sir, I did not see you there. Right, now I'm starting to get the hang of this. Ah shit, my bad. Then there's Cobblestone, which is the most boring minigame I've ever attempted to play. Once you start, you cannot exit the minigame. Trust me, I did try. Anyway, I lost, and as you play, your opponent mocks you with the same 2 or 3 lines over and over again.
Haha. Shame it went out. Haha. Shame it went out.
I'm sorry, isn't this on a DVD? You know, 4.7 gigabytes of space? The graphics are okay and get the job done, but notice the frame rate always dipping and never staying consistently smooth. Yes, not a good first impression. Unless you are a die-hard Harry Potter fan, avoid this one.
Hi, Harry.
Hi, Joe.
Well, I just thought I'd say hello. Did you have a good summer? I mean, apart from the hearing and almost being expelled.
Is that a Tornadoes badge? You don't support them, do you?
Yeah, I do. I'll see you later, Harry.
Need for Speed Carbon is the sequel to Most Wanted, and this demo gives you a chance to play in 2 events, a sprint race and a drifting event. I'm a pro at Most Wanted, so I figured this would be a fun game. It is, although not as good as Most Wanted. First you get a cutscene that I swear was ripped off from Fast and Furious Tokyo Drift. Shameless.
Yeah. I heard you were back in town. Now I want to hear you're gone.
Then you get to pick from a couple of cars. Then you see a new feature exclusive to Carbon, customizing your cars, then pulling and pushing parts to any shape you like. This is pretty cool, and I'm sure those who love to customize cars will love this. Then, off to race. The game plays just like Most Wanted, but the controls aren't quite as sharp, the graphics look slightly worse, and the frame rate wasn't exactly steady most of the time. Still, the racing was fun, and I did enjoy it.
Left. Yeah, you got that one, man.
The drift event was annoying. The car kept going sideways when I did not want it to, and keeping a drift combo going was very frustrating. I never felt truly in control of the car, and although I did win the event, I certainly wasn't left smiling. Older Need for Speed titles did this mechanic far better than Carbon, even with the slower vehicles. Overall, this is a decent game, and I'm sure the full version is even better than this. Perhaps pick it up if you find it cheap at CX or on eBay.
Looking good, we're on track. All right, man, just keep it together.
OutRun 2006 Coast to Coast is an updated version of the legendary arcade classic from 1986. This version is very cool. I'm not very good at the game, as you can see here, so I could not get very far. However, this is an arcade game and the objective is simple: finish the race course before time runs out. The best way to do this is to slipstream any vehicle and don't crash. You will also have to master drifting around corners as well. I love drifting in this game. Just look at it, how epic is that? Drifting a Ferrari at 200 miles per hour clearly takes balls and bravery. Even your girlfriend in the car can be impressed. Or, in my case, actually hate me when I lose the race. It's pretty funny actually. The game looks fantastic and the Ferrari especially is well detailed. The car models definitely take the highlight of all OutRun games and this one takes the cake. The sound and music are all pleasant too and remind you of the game's arcade roots. The remixed music puts a smile on my face and has a nice tropical vibe to it. It's Sega in all of its glory. I shall definitely try and pick this up for myself the next time I see it, and I recommend you do too. It's a lot of fun, and possibly it's the best OutRun game ever made? I shall see when the time is right. Otherwise, definitely get this game. The final game on the demo disc is a great one, Metal Gear Solid 3. I have the full game and it's a very memorable one at that.
20 minutes to drop off.
Commencing internal depressurization. Equipment check.
In this demo you play as Snake in the 1960s during the Cold War and your task is to find and rescue Sokolov, who is a Russian researcher. You get the usual Hideo Kojima tropes such as funny dialogue, long cutscenes, and a beautifully presented world with great characters and a complicated, if worthwhile, story. The gameplay is stealth action. Yes, going in guns blazing is usually not the best way to proceed, although being that I'm playing the game, to me guns blazing is the obvious answer. If you are spotted, usually you have to be out of sight before the evading stage kicks in. However, in my case, I just gunned down everyone and everything until I got to the next area. Look at Snake's arsenal though, the dude is packing heat. It's like Black, but more realistic. You are supposed to blend into the environment and paint and change your costumes accordingly for maximum effect, but again I never do this as I find it tedious. In this game, Snake has a stamina meter. This will affect how he quickly regenerates health, his aiming accuracy, among other aspects. You can refill the meter by hunting animals and eating them, but these crocs are not worth it. Overall, Metal Gear Solid 3 is a great game. You can see for yourself it's a worthwhile experience, and everyone knows how incredible this game is. Both me and my brother own this game. I own the PlayStation 2 original version and he owns it on the HD collection on the Xbox 360. You see, Metal Gear goodness for practically everyone. Well folks, there you go. The final PS2 demo disc I ever bought, and it was a pretty good experience overall. I mean, yes, some of the games didn't quite work correctly. Metal Gear Solid 3 there froze at the worst time possible, but it was still a fun time, and I'm sure with a bit of cleaning, the PS2 demo disc would work properly. Anyway, at least now, for the first time, you got a look into what the PS2 demo discs look like, at least towards the end of their lives in Europe, and hopefully it was a fun experience that you guys will never forget. Well, I won't forget, that's for sure. But I know out there you guys have played demo discs that I've probably never played in my life, so let me know what demo discs that you liked on what system and why. Not to mention, tell me about some of the games that you played on that said demo disc. Anyway folks, until next time, I will see you in my next video. Now, let's see what else we got here. That didn't go well.